So you've prepared an opening, you play it well, you enter the middle game, and now you realize you don't have any plans. You start to wonder, what next? What move should I play? I'm sure this happens with most of you. Look, the best moves don't just come to your head randomly. You'll only find them if they are part of a good plan. So in this video, I'll show you 8 practical plans and strategies to make use of. And if you're ever stuck, just apply these ideas and you can dominate the middle game. Let's begin. The first plan is to attack the opponent's king with a pawn storm. By a pawn storm, I mean that you start pushing these pawns towards the castled king. This can be quite a good strategy, especially if it's an opposite side castle where you don't need to worry about your own king's security. The idea is to eventually exchange at least one of these pawns to create an open file for the rook and attack the enemy king with all your pieces. And sometimes by playing this way, you also open up opportunities to exchange pieces like this, and then you can simply target the lonely king as I showed you earlier. The second plan is to make positional sacrifices. In a positional sacrifice, we look to sacrifice material to gain some counterplay from a better position. Here's an example. See, here if you exchange your rook for the knight, it opens up the position. You can activate all your pieces like this and generate a lot of counterplay on the king side. Just look how white is completely dominating this game even though he's down in material. These are the type of ideas I absolutely love to play. Well, if you also enjoy such sacrifices, then hit that like button right now. Alright, so the next plan is to create a battery. You can do that by lining up your long range pieces along an open file or an open diagonal. In this case, as you can see, this E file does not have any pawns. So you can take control by first getting in your rook, then create some space to add your queen, and finally add your other rook as well, creating this strong 3-piece battery eyeing down your opponent's territory. Another way to create a battery could be along the diagonal. In this game, this is an important diagonal. Our bishop is already well placed, so we can create a battery by placing the queen here. And this looks so deadly with all these attacking options. So this is an idea you should definitely look out for in your games. Another plan you can think of is a rook lift. Most players consider that the rook is powerful only in the endgame, but there are some potent strategies to utilize it in the early middle game as well. For example, in this game, white can play f4. Then he can lift the rook ahead of the pawns, and after a few more moves, this rook can be used to launch a kingside attack. So after rook h3, white is in a commanding position, and that's only because we activated the rook to its true potential. So yes, rook lift is something you should definitely keep an eye on. Now the fifth plan I want to tell you is about smart exchanges. A very clever way to make an exchange is to trade off your weak pieces with your opponent's strong pieces. In this game, as you can see, the material is equal, but black's bishops are way more powerful and active than white's bishops. So a good strategy for white would be to exchange them. But can you find a way to exchange these bishops? Yes, you can play bishop h3, and after black takes, you can give a queen check and then grab this bishop. So ultimately, you picked up an active piece and got rid of a passive one. And that's why we call it a smart exchange. I have 3 more strategies to show you, but before that, I would like to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. BetterHelp is a great online platform focused on better mental well-being. Well, the pandemic and the social isolation have clearly shown us how important it is to take care of our mental health. When we are feeling low and our everyday life is being affected, in such times, it is very important to take the help of an expert. We need someone to hear us out without any judgment and give us honest and educated advice. And BetterHelp gives you exactly that. You can be anywhere in the world, and just with a few questions about your feelings and preferences, BetterHelp will match you to a suitable professional therapist who has expertise in your area of concern. You can schedule weekly video or phone sessions with your counselor. You can even send them messages and they'll get back to you with timely and thoughtful responses. And you can easily change counselors if required. That makes BetterHelp so much more convenient and affordable than traditional offline therapy. Let me tell you, it's not like a crisis helpline or a self-help site. All counselors in the BetterHelp network are licensed professionals and provide secure professional counseling. So basically, BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life right now. All you need to do is sign up with this link, betterhelp.com/chesstalk. That's better, HELP, to get 10% off your first month. Link is in the description box below, so go and check it out. Moving on, a very common plan that you can apply in most middle game positions is to put pressure on your opponent's pieces. Now here, white has almost completed his development and black is yet to castle. So white can take advantage by playing a move like knight to g5. What he's simply doing is putting pressure on this weak f7 pawn. Because of this, black is forced to play knight h6, and that's not a good square for the knight. It opens up a wonderful opportunity for white, and now he can take this pawn with the queen. Black is in serious trouble now. Even if he just castles, white can play a beautiful move like this. The pawn can't take, and eventually the sweetie is gone. So if you keep applying pressure on a piece, your opponent goes on the defensive, and ultimately that could create weaknesses which you could exploit to your advantage. The final two plans are not necessarily about attacks but strategic repositioning of your pieces. First, let's learn how you can relocate your knights effectively. In this game, white has these two knights and obviously they are not in a great position. So our strategy could be to reposition them to make them more active. I generally follow three rules. First is to place your knights on outposts, which basically means placing them on squares that are supported by your pawns. Secondly, it's better to find a square close to the center or towards your opponent's territory because that's where they can be most attacking. And the third thing is to look for a square where your opponent can't attack with his pawns. Considering these rules, these two squares look the most attractive, especially e6 because it is right in the middle of your opponent's pieces. Plus, there are no pawns on the adjacent files that can attack the knight. So in a few moves, if we get our knight here, like this, there's no easy way for black to get rid of it, and that makes this knight extremely powerful in the long run. Alright, now let's see how you can play around with your bishops. First things first, if your bishops are cramped up like this, you should reposition them on long open diagonals. So playing something like b3 and then fianchettoing the bishop to b2 is a good plan because now this bishop becomes way more active. Another thing to keep in mind is that your own pawns should not obstruct your bishops. As you can see here, all these pawns are placed on light colored squares, which makes this a bad bishop because it cannot move freely over the board. So a good strategy for you could be to move this pawn and open up this bishop to attack the king side. And that's how you can strategically position your bishops. Guys, I have many more middle game plans to share with you, so if you like these, please hit the thumbs up button right now and I'll make another video like this. Alright, so it's puzzle time. In this middle game, I want you to find a match winning plan for white. Do share your answers in the comment section below. Let's see how much you learned from this video. Guys, don't forget to subscribe and check out these videos as well, which are showing up on your screen right now. Thanks for watching and I shall see you in the next one.